we're back with another one. And this is a last minute impromptu little thing that we wanted to put together just to kind of talk about a few things. Again, we're going to be testing. That's going to be the name of the game in the near future. Test, retest. That's basically the whole scientific method anyway. But, another day where we're sitting here, we're going to be wrestling with the algorithm and trying to understand just exactly what she wants and how we can best give it to her so she can help us grow the channel and expand. Because make no mistake, she is a fickle mistress. So we're gonna get here. We're gonna talk about Meg and Clay, and the whole purpose of this one, we changed a couple of tags, see if we can draw more people in. All the same, tomorrow's live stream is going to be for the subscribers. The weekly show we put together, that's when we're going to have some little more fun with it. So again, if you are new here, like the channel, like the stream, subscribe to the channel, do all the great YouTube things that we hope that YouTube that you actually enjoy from YouTube. Also, jump in the chat. That's one change we're trying to make. Have a more interactive back and forth, a little more dialogue. Also, another thing that helps the chat grow. So one of the key thing we're talking about here is you see so much discourse about how women are treating this thing with Meg, the breakup, her post, the cheating, right? We're trying to cover it on multiple angles, multiple fronts. And then why you have such this stark divide of why men don't seem to feel the same way. And it plays into the larger aspects of our society and how we look at things, how men fundamentally look at things versus how women do. Also, you can see when their divide exists, what happens. And it starts with just the straight up name calling, right? And from you being DL, from this being a reason for you to go cheat on your boyfriend this summer or now or this weekend to go out and do whatever you want. We got some clips to go through. Where we're going to be making the point by point. And I think this is, we'll try to have a healthier sort of dialogue, but some of them get pretty into it. We're not unfamiliar with Meg Thee Stallion's reputation of how and who she is and how she got to where she is and some of the stuff she's done while she's on that ascent. Even days after the breakup, you see her out there, doing shots or something off someone's chest. So it helps that we just have this full understanding and full context of what we're going to be talking about here. So again, if you're new here, jump in. Want to hear what you have to say. We're trying to do these more for the interaction, more for the back and forth, and also for reps. We're going to be here for a while. Hopefully, we're looking forward in time, 4 or 5 years until this thing we can create something dope. That's said at the end of most of the videos. Trying to create something dope. So one of the things that I want to first talk about, right, and we're going to intersperse this back and forth, is very much how men and women view a lot of these things and why men, right, outside of this, why they view it differently. But let's say the obvious, the internet is a cesspool, right? We all understand that internet is full of negativity, of people that just don't really care about what you're going through, about your issues. This is normal, right? This is part and parcel we sort of have to accept with just being on the internet. It's part of the game. I think they've spent a concerted effort trying to do what they can to minimize, to get rid of, to put some of these people in smaller places. But the internet is the closest thing you have to a democratized place. And I just don't mean YouTube or one of the popular sharing platforms, but in terms of you can literally say what you want. There's some consequences for some things, but stopping you from typing it out and posting it outside of whatever forum you're on, whatever site you're on, coming and sniping that thing, there's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can say, right? It's always going to be there. It's always going to be there available. So you just have to accept that that's part of the game. So when you see bad actors online and you get upset by it, what are you upset about? That's always going to be there. The purpose of saying this is that you understand that this is not a reflection of the whole. Okay, some men said some bad things, some women said some bad things. That doesn't mean all women, all men. This desire to generalize is is just still like a growing one. It's not helping the discourse. It's not helping separate some of these ideas, some of these purposes. But what we see is just that's what it is now, because it becomes popular to say all men, all you men. You get hurt by something and it's all men. You get hurt by some man, some woman, and it's all women. Let's be real for a second and understand that's not actually what's happening here. With that said, we have to understand that the way men are looking at Meg, it's multiple. It's in multiple ways, right? They're looking at it as if this is what we told you would happen. They're looking at it from a place of consequences and outcomes and fairness, right? Just stick with me for a little bit, right? We got some data and some actual information to support what I'm talking about. It was a study done in 1982 by Carol Gillian, and she argued that men see the world like injustice frameworks, that there's a right and wrong, there's rules, fairness, there's outcomes, consequences. Women use a caring framework, relationships, inclusion, harm reduction, and social cohesion. Essentially, men want to see justice. They want to see that, yes, this is punished, this is wrong, and then this is what happens. Here's a consequence for said behavior. This is why we talk about today, just in terms of accountability, where it seemed accountability for women is eschewed for social cohesion, for understanding, for the emotion behind it, to maintain relationships. All is justifiable under that framework. Now, we're going to be clear. We're going to be, adults about this. That people, you're not pigeonholed into one or the other. We get that. So when we're looking at what was happening with Meg and her history, Tori, all the other people that she slept with, the music that she puts out, men are saying, okay, you can win like this. You can absolutely win like this, but there's consequences of this behavior. So when it hits, men are just firmly in that space. Let's be clear. I'm not saying that it's good that she got cheated on. Again, this is all from her point of view. Clay has never said anything. And I think it's the best thing he can do, just stay silent on it. From that framework, men are just say, hey, that type of behavior gets you this outcome. You doing this with NBA, this was the outcome. This is a likely outcome you get. They see that as fair. Women are not looking at it like that. They're looking at it like from this is not a right thing. They're looking at it downstream. If it could happen to her, it could happen to all of us. There's more of a parasocial relationship there. Where a lot of us now get off the wagon with you is when you start saying stuff like, yo, right, ridiculous stuff, the more you sort of defend the ridiculousness of it. You say like the history doesn't matter. You say stuff as if, who is Klay Thompson anyway? Stuff like that. When we're looking at you like, you sound ridiculous. Everyone knows who Klay Thompson, right? Internationally, people know who this man is. Because you didn't, doesn't mean that that person didn't actually exist or have anything about him. When you try to downplay what he's accomplished, his net worth, his skill, his record-setting behavior, how he and Steph Curry changed the face of the NBA, you sound ridiculous to us. That continued sort of denial, that continued sort of push away from that, right? That makes it not make sense. That makes us look at this and say, what are you talking about? Hey, you guys in the chat, appreciate you guys showing up as usual. Like I said, we're going to keep going. We're going to keep talking about this. We're going to keep it back for us. So if you guys do pop in, let me know. I would say, hey, super twins. You got twins? You're a twin? Love that. So framework wise, a justice versus a social, like a caring one. This is the difference. This is why men are looking at like, oh no, we want consequences for behavior. Something is supposed to happen to you. You live that life. This is what's supposed to be outcome. You do OnlyFans. This is supposed to be outcome. You live this fast life. This is supposed to be outcome. That's why it comes sometimes it comes across as callous. It also comes across as callous when we're like, yo, we told you about this. We told you that this is how the game is. And you kind of decided, no, it's not. I'm going to do things how I want or how I think it should be. Right? Again, we've got some clips to go into this, and let's get into our first one right here.
Ladies, I want to talk about this arrogance in us. I'll say us because I'm a woman. Where you think you can change a person's behavior. Like men are smart enough to know, okay, she's a hoe. Like that's just what she is. I'm not the guy that's just gonna change it all. It don't matter who the guy is. Even Chris Brown made a song saying these ain't loyal. I want y'all to get, men have accepted it exactly the way it is, but you are fantasy world. He's not gonna do it to me. How could he do that to me? I'm me. I'm so special. Y'all think y'all got this grandiose sense of self. And so this Klay Thompson and Megan Thee Stallion thing, it was only inevitable. What did Shaq say? 6 months? I think Shaq gave it 3 months or 6 months. Like, after that thing happened with Tory Lanez and all that information dropped, do y'all not? First of all, a lot of people thought it was just a marketing type relationship, but y'all see this man like he Klay Thompson, and that's what I'm saying. Like men come into scenarios with women, hey, sign this prenup because I know how women can be. Like men are very aware, unless they're green, unless dudes is green and they ain't got no like experience, you know, they'll always think, oh, she's just an angel, she'll be great for me. But God,
We saw that with what's his name that got with Brittany Renner, right? The ultimate predator, the ultimate hunter. Even when you see her coming, there's nothing you could do about it, right? That's just the game. You know, PJ Washington. And that's exactly what happened with PJ. You ran that play, or she ran the play on you, and this was happening. So we looked at that and we said, yo, people came and told PJ, yo, don't do this. He went and now he has the consequences. Men look at that. We don't call out Brittany Renner, you so foul for this. We look at it and say, this is a consequence of the behavior, right? We're looking at it in that sort of sense. This is what you get. Then when you flipped it, when she tried to, try the money play and it didn't work, we're looking and saying, this is also a consequence of behavior. We want to see the consequences before the emotional fallout happens, before the strings and everything else becomes an issue. We're looking and saying, where's the justice? Where's the fairness? Yes, you can say, well, why we're not looking at it as in, okay, he cheated on her. We're looking at say, well, that's also part of that framework. When you play in that space, that's usually what you're going to get. When you try to do the proverbial, right, and I'm not calling her out, I'm not saying that. When you try to go from the upgraded, you try to advance from the hoe to the housewife, that is what we're saying. Oh, that doesn't really work well. And then you can't even, when you can't get farther than that, we're looking and say, yeah, of course that's happening. Then, of course, when we talk about the very same thing, where you try to downplay Klay's abilities and access, and then because you're not familiar with his game, and then you start doing research and see his lineup, you see, oh, he's kind of cold. He's probably colder off the court in the terms of the women he's dealt with and apparently cheated on than he is on the court. So this is how men are looking at it. Yeah, he cheated on you. Yeah, that was probably going to happen, especially given your history of also cheating on men. That's what we're looking at holistically. I think sometimes women are looking at it in the sense of, we wanted her to win so bad that when she didn't, it's bothering us, because you want that whole idea that you can live your life on your terms and still end up in that quote unquote soft girl era. You could still end up with a guy that's going to bend over backwards. You could still end up with your Russell Wilson. You just never looked and said, Klay looks unassuming, but that doesn't mean he's Russell. That doesn't mean he's a Russell.
guys look at track records most of the time. Y'all refuse to look at the Carfax. Klay Thompson, Megan Thee Stallion, he knew what he was getting with Megan Thee Stallion. Y'all can say whatever y'all want to say. I already know y'all ladies gonna try to look out for each other because y'all always do. Y'all reward bad behavior. Y'all reward bad behavior in yourselves. Y'all, not all, because I know it's gonna be some women. Nah, I don't be rocking with. Calm down. Y'all know what I'm saying. Y'all know what I'm saying. You can't be Sexy Red. You can't be Cardi B and then be expecting this fairy tale for a hood nigga to ride up on a white horse, or in not a white horse, but a Cadillac on 22s or something, and whisk you away into the sunset and get married. I rarely see you all just marrying thugs. These thugs is not marrying y'all. I rarely ever just see thug weddings. Like, it's not happening. And y'all just keep like, and I'm thankful as the good guy over here. Every day it take me every day it take everything out of me not to be mean to women because y'all like it. It just works. It just works. It just works. Y'all want the guy that everybody wants. And then y'all usually don't want him until it's too late. What would stop? I mean, like, I knew this wasn't gonna work. They not even from the same background. I just posted a video about divesting. Y'all be thinking y'all grew up in the hood, ain't had no culture, no etiquette classes, no lady classes, don't know, and y'all be wanting a CEO of a company. You.
I mean, that's that's accurate. That's what we see a lot of. What is that happening? I was how what's going on. Yeah, we try to. I don't know what's up with YouTube and the algorithm, but it be hating. But we got another live we're gonna do tomorrow at 7. That's gonna be the show. That's for the subscribers. That's for you guys. But yeah, we're gonna be here talking for a little bit. We're gonna talk for a little bit. So yeah, she's absolutely correct. What she's saying here, you see you want to advance the idea. I think this is what's striking down a lot of women. And we have some of these the videos coming up where what it's like someone is fracturing your dream of you're going to go from be taken from your situation and advance into where you are. Because you don't know Meg. She doesn't know you at all. But you're looking at what it represents. And this is the parasocial nature of this whole thing, which makes it very, very disturbing. You thinking that because she deserves this or she is so dope, she's all the things that you think men say they want. And we have these conversations again and again and again and again and again that, she's got the money, she's got the success, she's beautiful. Why wouldn't she get the best type of man? So it's for us to remember that Klay Thompson was the best type of man when you didn't know much about his history. You didn't look into his history. You just said, that's good for her. He's an NBA, he's rich. That's the prototype. That's the archetype. I put that archetype with this other archetype. This is a bad bee. This is all this. She makes all this music. She's done all this. You put it together, and this is supposed to be the dream. And then here you come. Someone came like Onslaught, said the dream is dead. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work. One, you never even checked anything about this man. You say he was a cold shooter. He's cold, right? And he's quiet about it. I think that's what is unnerving so many people, that you're not hearing him be demonstrative. You're not seeing him going there and shouting this down, and they're having a match go back and forth. Not like it's necessary, not like it's needed, not like it would be helpful. Because what happens all the time? It doesn't matter what comes out later on. People make up their mind immediately and they choose their sides, and they never really let that go. You take the DoorDash girl who came on screaming on TikTok about how she was assaulted. She was sexually assaulted because, she was essayed because she went to deliver and the door was open, and there he is in plain sight with his junk out on the couch, passed out. Didn't matter that facts later on said, no, you went in, he said, leave it here. You went in, pushed open the door, then filmed him, then doxed him and put it online multiple times. Then you screamed foul when DoorDash said you're gone. Then you screamed foul when TikTok took your videos down. But all the while, people were still saying, no. She's right. She was assaulted. You have this idea that she has to be right. You take the same thing we did with Brick Lady, right? With Rhoda Osmond. You just believed her up and down until even people coming out and saying like, this does not make sense. Who you were arguing with, what was happening. Someone picked up the brick and threw it at you, and that was the kind of contusion you had. Even when the reports, everything else came out, even when she was prosecuted, it was like, nah, that's not real. This didn't happen. Even when you saw there's a history of this GoFundMe theft, no, it's not real. You have this archetype and this framework that it's supposed to work out. Why would a woman lie about this? Why would she not be truthful about this? But in reality, it paints a very different picture. And what we say on this channel a lot, people are human. Men and women are human. Capable of the same things. That's the quality of it, right? I'm capable of lying and dreaming the same way you are. But when something is happening right in front of our face and then you disagree with it, it doesn't mean we've got to snipe each other. It doesn't mean that sometimes it's got to be character assassination. You should be able to disagree and say, oh man, that sucks for her. Oh, but you know what? You kind of truck in that lifestyle. That's probably what's going to happen to you. When you ignore what actual NBA players have said, this is what happens. This is the game, right? You know, assault while sleeping. That's some you know, you have to like astrally project, right? Astrally project naked, float over, make sure you became visible, and say, yeah, I'm sleeping, but now I'm getting after it. I'll leave it to some anime to come up with something like that, but how's that possible? And to think what happens to that guy, right? You go through the ringer. Police come, and what do they say? They gotta start interviewing. They start looking like, nah, man, what you do? Sleep. Right? You know? The mass subscribe. Yo, listen, I appreciate the subscription. What are you supposed to do when you're sleeping and the cops come shaking you and say, yo, my man, get up? Now you're lush, you're drunk, you're asleep, right? And now they're like, yo, you did this. Huh? What you mean? I was laying here, I ordered some food. I was so drunk, I'm not even sure what I ordered. And hopefully I tipped, right? But I was passed out. I said, leave it out here. I know I'm passed out. And then when she comes, opens my door. Think about that for yourself. You order something, someone opens the DoorDash delivery, Uber delivery, right? Whatever you use, whatever your choice is. They open the door and say, hey, your food's here. Excuse me? What you mean? What are you doing? All right, in America, right, where we love our guns, you're just gonna push open the door and say, oh, what's going on? And then take your phone out and say, let me record. And then the gall, put that out there. And then people say, nah, she was assaulted. Okay. Fine. Take that. When we talk like this, or we don't talk, we have to understand at some point in today, what ends up happening is we lose the ability to actually have these conversations. If you can't come over to the other side and see a bit of reason, what are we supposed to do? How are we supposed to fix that? You know, how do we improve on that? How would we make sure, like, hey, this makes sense to us? So when men are saying, hey, listen, you can't do Meg stuff and then also get the gold. It's not saying you can't get married, right? But if you went and picked up any one of these regular dudes, right? If Meg Thee Stallion knocked on the door today and was like, hey, I heard about you, I saw your video, I think you're dope. You guys would look and say, yeah, man. You guys wouldn't say, like, that's what she deserves. You like, yo, he's not on her level. Guys be looking and say, you know what you're getting into. So when I go and you see me on the red carpets, right? You see me out there holding up signs for WAP is the future. And then when I get done dirty, you guys are looking at me. I can't come to the men for sympathy. They say, you knew what that was. And women just will say the same thing. Well, you were never on that level. You should have been happy. We didn't know about you until blah, 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 blah. In this case, would be true. But, right? Still projection skills. You would need that. To, you know, physically, you know, spiritually leave your body and then manifest physically. Right. But yeah, there's probably some isekai anime just like that. I wish I had a little more time to you know, dive more into anime, but we're still going, right? So people in the industry understand this. Women in the industry understand how this goes. They understand the truth about it. When you play around in this sort of manner, you don't end up with the gold, right? Klay Thompson also played for, you know, USA Olympic team, right? Won the gold. Just so if you guys pretend like you still don't know who he is, that he isn't known internationally, he absolutely is. This is not to detract from anything we're talking about, but it's just a little reality wake-up call. This stuff is real. People know him. But back to the industry. People in the industry know what the game is. And and I love that it's women that said it and called it out.
Take it from a woman who's been in the industry for about 9 years now. A man will date you. He will bring you around his family. He will show you off to the world. But he will not marry you. And it will not be long term. Men, a high value man will not wife a sexy red, a Cardi B, a Meg and Stallion. They just won't. They just won't. It's just as simple as that. You cannot act like a Cardi B, Meg and Stallion, sexy red, and then expect to have happily ever after marriage material with a high value man. It's just not gonna happen. You cannot give off being a hoe and expect a good value man to marry you. It's not gonna happen.
Now, I don't know if she was in the shower with that background music, but but that's the reality of it, right? You don't get the gold like that when you have a history of running a gun and showing your stuff. You authored WAP. Think about when these men are getting around their circles and they start talking to each other and, hey, I'm going to the corporate thing, I'm going to the ball, whatever, the gathering, because we're talking about people not like us, right? Hey, I'm taking my shorty 7-Eleven, we're going to CVS. We're not talking about that. We're talking about you going out there in the world, showing this person off. This person now is a representation of you in these spaces. We like to talk about how many times that a woman is going to help elevate a man, that she's going to be having these conversations for him. The other side of the conversations, he doesn't know, right? Because the women are off talking, the men are off talking, but the women are talking about events, putting things together. They know the gossip. They know the ins and outs. We're being honest about the nuance of some of these things, right? We're talking about this in that sense, right? What actually happens in the industry? What do you mean by that? You know what she means by that, right? Rockin' Killer, what's going on? We know what she means by it. It's the industry. I'm not talking about she's a rapper, she's a singer. She is a provider of other talents. Right? Let's be frank about that. But remember, my mom might watch. I'm not gonna go out here and call people out like that. So when you're representing someone else, and again, these women have their own circuits, they have their own lines of communication. They understand what is happening. Oh, this person is up for this. This person is doing this. This person is going to be at this benefit. Yeah, this is where you want to be. That's part of how you can be helpful. But when you trade on WAP, when you're twerking with the DNC, they're going to look and say, no, you're not part of this life. There's things that you can do that's already difficult for you to be the new rich, the no way rich, to coming from nothing to having money, but still not being accepted into that elite society. One of those things is always going to be your history, how you got your money, how you made it. And as much as we praise people like NBA players, NFL, we praise the athletes and entertainers. There is a ceiling for that. The real echelons in power are not the ones that you see their faces. They're twerking for you, or they're singing, they're rapping, they're on tour. That's not the real power. That's still the people. You're still feeding some sort of apparatus, some sort of thing. It sounds morbid, but when you see athletes, black athletes, NFL, NBA, right? When you see them running up and down, we get amazed by their talent. We get even more blown away by how much money they're making. This one's got a $400 million contract. It's amazing. Someone's signing that check, right? Someone's signing that check. Someone owns the team. Someone owns the profit for all of what you're doing. All of what you're doing. So if I give you this $400 million contract, that's because you're going to generate me so much revenue. It's blinding. It's blinding. But I own this. That's what I do. I own this, and I partially own some other team, some other thing. I've never played ball in my life. I've never been as athletic as any of you, but I sign your checks. So you flip it over to the music industry, you know how that is, steeped in sort of just like, you got to sell parts of you that you may never be able to get back in order to make it here. Because there's nothing exceptionally talented with some of these people. They're elevated into these spaces. You look good, or we can get you looking better. You can sing this, push this, and we love it. And then we use that. But all the while, your public persona, how you move, that's on you. So if you're out here twerking, getting shot allegedly in cars, lying about stuff to Gayle King, nah, you and Tory, nah. And then you have it on the internet itself, on Al Gore's internet, Beyonce's internet, depending who you talk to. Yeah, man, I lied to this. I lied. I did all this. We're talking about now all this stuff follows you. All this stuff follows you, and it bars you from higher society, from those people that are making it over there. So even if Clay is saying, yo, mom, dad, right? I got Shorty right here. They're like, who? Meg the Stallion. Your mom's probably looking like, I'm not familiar. You show the pictures and she does a little research and she gasps a little bit, but it's like, she's nice, right? And you probably, and this is men talking, right? Especially in our younger days, right? You were doing something with someone and you brought her, you bring them around the guys, you bring them around. But before that, there's always a conversation. It's like, look, yo, how serious about it? Nah, not really. That's just fun right now. We're not, okay. Right. And then we move, not that we're going to be meaner to you or not treat you like with open arms, but we understand, all right, this is not something he's really serious about. On the outside, the rest of us are looking and saying, yo, she's so talented, she's so amazing. Any man would be lucky to be with her. Yeah, but no. That's from our poor, impoverished point of view. That's us looking up at the stylized, idealized image and saying, yes, that would be the greatest thing in the world. We did the same thing in the 90s with our heroes, right? And our heroines. Halle Berry was the quintessential one. Anyone said that. It was in the rap songs. We all said it ourselves. We were fawn. Grown men or growing men, simply fawning over the thought of, oh my gosh. We all had our little things, our little cooks, our heroes. But the reality ends up being very different. When you see that men who have been with her, they're like, now I'm cool on it. You start to realize that people are just human. You think, in my place, right? If I only was able to do that, I'd be happy. I had a Spanish lesson earlier today, and it became a little bit of a therapy in trying to say some of these things in Spanish, but some of it had to be in English. And one of the things we end up talking about is, how many things did you already accomplish that you said would make you happy? I was like, I've got a multitude of those, right? I got a multitude of those. If I only got this, I'd be happy. If I only got with Meg the Stallion, I'd be happy. That's what you think Clay is saying. That's what you think Clay is saying. But the probably the most important thing in Clay's mind is not Meg. I from the looks, from the little snippets you see in their lives and their conversations, we interpret what we want, and then we think this is what makes sense. Until they're going to have an honest conversation, or people close enough to them know these things, we just understand the more you put yourself out there, you put your relationship out there, the more you're going to have sort of this issue. Not to bring anything unserious around me. No, we grew out of that a long time ago, Blair. Right? It's just like, yo, if it's not, you never have to meet this person. You never have to meet this person. Right? And Blair and I, thick as thieves. But some people like, you're interested? Nah, don't worry about it. I'll talk about her, but you'll never see her. She'll never. And he's been around my family. How serious my father and my mom were. You couldn't bring someone into the house. One grew up in a Nigerian house, so whomever you brought in, they had to greet your parents. There was no sneaking someone through a window scenario. Even friends, guy friends coming over, the first thing you do when you came to the house, my mom's home, dad's home. You got to go greet them. All right, good afternoon, good night. Okay? That was just manners. It wasn't like they were checking, but they instilled those manners in. It all said that you couldn't bring someone aggressive that couldn't understand that to that place, to the house. That's not how it worked, right? Well, man, I appreciate that. Yeah, family's wonderful. Our family's wonderful. Okay? But shout out to my brother and sister, the best. But yeah, you could not just bring someone around and they not understand it. One of the things my father said, it's a long time ago, he's like, your choice in friends is a reflection of you. He said, because we sometimes, like the kitchen table, they'd leave money around, right? You know, maybe it's if it's something later, groceries, or it's just change, but it'd be, you know, money left around. He said, we never have to worry that it's missing. Never. When friends came in, they understood this was not that type of house. And we were the house of wayward boys, people in and out, right? Yeah. Oh, my brother, shout out to my brother, right? Showing up. Yeah. You never have to worry about stuff like that. There was very, and this is, again, I was, you know, had the pleasure of seeing my brother like a week or so ago. And we were just talking, and I'm just so astounded by his growth, his trajectory, but there's no jealousy in there. There's no animus. There's no, the better he does, I'm like, nah, it just motivates me and says, yo, if I had a 36-hour day, I'd be going for my doctorate too. But while whatever success he has is my success. So we grew up in that environment. But that also means the quality of people you bring around is critical. You just can't bring anyone. So you're thinking that everyone else moves like this, everyone operates like this. When it comes down to your love interest, sometimes you're already telling the people, you're already telling your friends, hey, this one's not that serious. Now I'm not looking for something serious right now, and she's up. We just think because it's Meg that it's supposed to work out. You thought Clay was soft. You thought it was Russell Wilson. No, you know, and men, again, we never bought into a lot of this. We say that kind of makes sense to us. But let you do your thing. We're not haters in that sort of sense. We're just gonna let it rock out. But we watched people develop this parasocial relationship where you started to internalize this. And this is a part that ends up really concerning a lot of us. It's as if the slight, the cheat, the hate was done to you. And all we have is a text of words that she said. And this was enough to change the trajectory of some of your people's lives. Just like that. This is the part that a lot of us look and say, yo, are you okay? Right? Are you okay?
I don't think y'all understand. Megan getting cheated on after she stopped making hot girl music, made lovey-dovey music, put on fake wigs, like the bad wigs, to sit courtside with his white mama, to love and respect him and settle down and buying him gifts and being with him. You do realize that has now set every nigga back from getting a girlfriend, because if Meg can't get one and y'all encouraging that, I don't want nothing to do with y'all.
Think about the insanity of that statement, right? Think about that. That because this happened here, because you think you were there, you were her best friend, choosing the bad wigs with her, saying, oh yeah, you gotta go sit by his crusty mama. All right, man, girl, do your thing. Like, you guys were the confidant. That this hurt you the same way. I'd be nothing but concerned. How does this make sense? How do you figure this in your head? Is this person like, is it an idol? And it's not to say that we can't understand how this happens to a lot of people. We've seen what happened with Michael Jackson, right? We see all the documentaries, the videos of when he was out and people were fainting. Like, women were fainting over just seeing him perform, just being in his presence. So there's always been parasocial relationships. They're not new. The effect that these people have on us is an indication of how much interest we're putting in their lives. When you're out there wishing LeBron good luck tonight, you know, in the DMs, same thing, right? Same thing. You're upset. Oh, you're crashing out. You're destroying your furniture just because he didn't win, right? Oh no, it's not fair. You're right. We have the same sort of effects, but that doesn't mean now, okay, these men in life is cold. It's over for you. I'm coming and trying to say, hey, listen, this is who I am. I'm trying to get to know you. Blah blah blah. Nah, because Clay. Excuse me. What do you mean by that? Right? Help me understand. Megan's cheated and cheated on men. And we're into, it seems like, again, this is how yeah. Yeah, hold on. Let me get you that sound effect real quick. Yeah, listen. When you truck in that behavior, what's supposed to happen? And we pretend like as if we don't understand, we haven't seen, right? And the whole thing we started this live stream talking about, men are into consequence. They're into justice in that, in the way we see it. We operate in that framework, right? And this is something, you know, that was studied in 1982. We operate in the justice. We want to see things, the morality of things. That there's right, there's a wrong. That when something happens like this, there should be some sort of consequence. And it's funny because typically when women talk about things like this and the same idea, they just call it karma, right? They call it karma. How many times have you heard women talking about that, simply relying on that? Oh, it'll work out. There'll be karmic retribution, be karmic justice. You move like that, it'll get you. It'll catch up to you. Why can't you see it here? The whole thing with Tory lying, Gayle King cheating on this man and this man. Okay. Now again, I'm not saying that someone in that industry, in that space with all the options, she's not going to be tempted. She could do what she can do. She can do whatever she wants to do. But when it happens to you, you can understand why men are looking and say, it's all good. Right? When we see that, oh, you got cheated on. Okay. Oh, are we now supposed to, what are we supposed to do? When Meg was cheating, did we all come and say, yo, it's over for you black women. We're done. We're just done. Oh, that sounds ridiculous. Wouldn't it sound ridiculous to you? It's not a trick question. It would just sound absolutely ridiculous. But you can't do do what you gotta do.
Y'all do realize that this is engaged summer. This has engaged a lot of people's seasons. If you was on medium terms with your girlfriend, she's gone. If you was thinking about getting a girlfriend, she gone. If you had a crush on a girl, she don't want you no more.
So, and this has been the funny thing. So you're telling us that because Clay cheated on Meg, and this is honestly, we could just say it's alleged, right? It's alleged until you see more evidence and more stuff. But let's just accept that. Let X equal he cheated. He's dirty. He's awful, the most terrible person alive. Right? We'll give you that. So now you are now going to have a hot girl summer. You're gonna go out there and do what? Right? Or you're gonna deny, oh, this guy was interested in you. You said, no, I'm not gonna get into any relationships. Okay. Whenever you talk about wanted some sort of like equality or this revolution, and it just meant you gave yourself away, or the access to your body became, easier. I've got videos where women are straight up saying like, no, I did all these things with him sexually because I don't like him, because I just want to have my fun. But the guy that I actually like, he has to wait. I had threesomes with men I don't really care about. I kind of liked, but the man I actually care about, he can't. I'll never do that with him. Again, remember, we don't judge what people want, how they want to go about doing things in life. We just want to understand the consequences of that behavior. So, men that are looking to be in relationships with you, healthy relationships with you, because something happened to a celebrity that you have this parasocial relation with, you are now going to deny that. Not on the merits that he didn't come correct, that he didn't do all this, just because a woman got cheated on that you felt was an injustice. How does that make sense? How does that make sense in any sort of scope? And this just, again, if you're just moving off the feel of how bad this feels for you, then sure, that's a silly way to live your life. That's a very silly way to live your life. Sure, I've had my own parasocial relationship. Right? My heart broke when Iron Man died. What did I do? I guess I had to go to work. Right? Broke my heart seeing him snap. Oh, Tony, don't do it. No, give it to someone else more powerful, capable of withstanding the snap. No, please. No. are you supposed to do? Right? You know, when Cap finally lifted the hammer, right? We had a parasocial relationship with that. When Captain America was holding on to the helicopters, Bucky was trying to leave. His best friend was trying to escape. Brainwashed best friend, Blair, I would do this for you, right? I'd hold back the helicopter. I'd drag it forward. Hopefully you come to your senses. Parasocial relationship? Not really. And my life didn't change. I didn't change what I was doing. Maybe I went to the gym and did more shoulders, more, bicep curls. But that was probably the extent of it. I didn't now let the rest of my life be governed by some person's decision making or their lack thereof, or feeling hurt. This is why some of us need to get offline and just kind of, as the kids say, we need to go and touch grass, right?
Every woman's cycle has shifted, and it's anti-man. It's really like, I don't think you understand. Like, she literally changed her music to the point where her fans were getting at her like, yo girl, where's the hot girl music? You sitting here booed up. And even dudes were like, she's respecting her man right now, leave her alone. And she was respecting her man, being loyal, doing all the things, and she still got cheated on. Who else is Klay getting with that's better than Megan? Who is he going to be able to pull that's better than Megan? It won't be. Worst is going to be a basic white girl. Worst of the worst case, right? Y'all don't see the problem. Y'all don't see how this is slowly going to develop in a problem. Like, whole house finna be mad. Y'all know whenever certain men cheat on good women, the whole shift in women moves. Men don't get that privilege as to all be mad whenever a girl cheats, because a lot of the girls will be like, girl, why'd you cheat? You were stupid. Now all the women are going to move in unison and be like, oh, so if you was on the rocks with your girl, I'd apologize now, or get prepped for that leave text message, or you getting blocked, sir, because it's really wrapped. If y'all was hoping about getting unblocked for cheating, this just showed you that there's nothing that can be done. There's nothing that can be done.
Think about how many blanks you got to fill in, right? Think about how many blanks you got to fill in for that to make sense in your life. All that extra work you've got to do. He's feel free to give whomever he dreams a better. Yeah. Not for y'all. I think that's where they get it. Yeah, it's a definite favor. You're doing me a favor by saying, yo, I'm done, right? I can't deal with this. If I'm just trying to say, hey, what's up, girl? Blocked. Blocked. Okay, cool. Right? What do people like to say? Rejection is protection. Right? If this is the way you're thinking, that there is, and women in the chat, let me know if I may be off base. You guys have meetings where you decide socially how you're going to move and treat men based on some celebrity's existence. What happened with this person? Okay, great. This is what we're going to all do now because this happened. Because men, we don't get together like that, right? We don't even have barbecues to talk about stuff like that. It's just, okay, that happened. That's someone else's life. It doesn't really move the needle on mine. I don't go to sleep thinking about it. I don't wake up gnashing my teeth. And for the record, I'm being facetious by a lot of this stuff. I know a lot of you women aren't like this at all, right? You're quiet. You enjoy your stuff. You read your smut in peace, right? Go to brunch. Have a good time. This stuff doesn't move you. It's not who you are. It doesn't make any sense to you. Yeah, let them be themselves immediately. Yeah, let them rock. If you're gonna be like this, cool. Let them rock. Leave me alone. Right? If this is how you're gonna live your life, cool. I love that we have to use it as people just coming on and identifying themselves. And you go into and I encourage you, if you're in these spaces, you got time to waste, and it's your daily dose of brain rot, go ahead and go in the comment section. See how we create these spaces, these pockets, these echo chambers where we just talk about the same thing again and again and again, and we get this affirmation. Yes, yes, yes. There's a clip that I've got saved where this woman, she often reads how other women respond to her, and she'll quickly flash what their photo looks like, and they're telling stuff like, yeah, you're ugly, you need to eat a cheeseburger. And these are average to below average women coming and being nasty to people because the internet is that such a place. If we can have that little truth detector that they try to implement on X or Twitter, where it just says, yeah, this person's just cap. But they're saying it's cap. This is not their life. This isn't anything towards their lives. This is nothing even approximating their life. If you are thinking that you're going to change your dating habits because of what happened to Clay, I hope you don't date. I hope no one's subject to that nonsense. But it's just as real, right? And this may offend some of y'all. It's just as real as you saying it's the stars, right? It's the sun. It's the alignment of the planets that is causing me to move like this. It might also be just the same as this Clay or something. These things have no real impact on your life, but it's enough of justification. It's one of those, if you believe it enough, then it works, then it's real. But nah, stop. Right? Stop. Get some help. What we look at it as men, when we see this, it comes across as complete, like it's just copium. You say these things as if these things are real, as if they actually matter. Yeah. Tactical diversions would be a smooth way of putting it. You're saying and moving like this because I don't want you to see the truth. It's cope. Right? It's cope. I think what is an excellent example of this very cope right here.
Not only is Klay Thompson a little bitch, this is all he'll ever be remembered for. And men might hear that and be like, this is like when people said that Taylor put Travis on the map. Like, no, this is what he'll be remembered for. 110%. Like, this is what the most people will know him for. Guaranteed. Forever. And I do love that for him. What a little bitch.
Consider the differences, right? Like, you'll think of Klay Thompson like this. Like a bitch. You'll think about him. He'll only be remembered by this for this. Klay Thompson will never think about you. He'll never see you. He'll never interact with you. You will never be a blip on that man's radar. Sometimes with these parasocial relationships, the part of it is like you think you're on that same level as that person. And let's be clear, by level, I don't mean that their success intrinsically makes them a better human than you. No, you don't occupy the same spaces, the same rooms. Your access is capped very, very close to the ground. If you think that he's only going to be known for this is going to be another blip. Oh shit, remember he did that thing with Meg? Yeah, man, he got off for that. Whenever he continues to do more and more other things, and there's going to be plenty of other women signing up to be with him. That's the thing we rarely acknowledge. Just how vicious some of the competition with women can be. Just how cutthroat it could be. How many times it was a sister that snaked her other sister for her husband. I've got a video like that coming up where, it's this best friend told Shorty not to marry, don't get married. The day of the wedding, he's been cheating on you. Only to then, months later, she'd be with the man now. It's a runaway bride. She went out, she did her thing. Now she's calling back saying, I want that old thing back. I just found out she lied to me. It was 9 years later. 9 years later. Now it's supposed to mean something. Now it's like, hey, no. What it reads to us, it's just straight, it's cope. It's just cope. This thing, for whatever reason, hurts you, and you want to now downplay someone else's accomplishments, which are storied, which are legend. Hall of Fame activity. I saw one other woman, this older white woman, and so it's not nailed down just to race. She was saying how he, Meg routinely fills out the stadiums that it takes Clay and 12 other men to fill. I'm like, are you thinking about an NBA schedule? Are you thinking of actually using a little bit of that brain wrestling to Google some of the stuff, and you see how much does this person actually sell out stadiums, and how every single game, depending on the team they're playing, depending on the team he's on, was filling out. No, you're just wrong. And this is the real detriment. This is real detriment to our society. For instance, we all publicly watched what happened with Kanye and Kim, and a new woman stepped in to be a student immediately, right? There will always be another person willing to take the spotlight, willing to take a bit of that shine, a little bit of that, especially, and this is especially true when it comes down to men, the way they're looking at it, because they're not looking at your talents. They're not looking at how much money you bring. To Clay, to someone that has made X amount of money, that still has opportunities to make that type of money, even with a shitty season. What does Meg's money mean to him? If it all equals out, right? If her money is not important, even though she's done this she's incredibly successful in that realm, what difference is that from a girl with a regular corporate job? She's just also pretty. He's just, oh shit, I like that. It doesn't matter that she doesn't sell out stadiums. She's not on tour. None of that matters. What's the background like? Okay, it's dope. I'm gonna elevate that. It makes zero difference to people that have to what you now have. Doesn't. And we can divide this up. We can chop this up into a micro sort of level when it just comes down to us down here in the trenches. You find someone that makes six figures and you make $30,000 a year, it makes no difference. You now have someone that makes $80,000. Okay, if I was never looking for you for the money, what is the difference? None. Now that all depends on that quality of man. What is he looking for? What is he choosing for? If it's just money, like women are trying to say, this is why Meg is valuable, then it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any type of difference. I was actually trying to compare. It was just trying to bring, doesn't actually matter what you do. Yeah. It's just an effort, I think, like you're saying, just to bring someone down, just to make them seem, okay, I cannot beat you on the merits. Right? I can't hit you on the facts. I can't do anything. What a black woman bring to the table. We're gonna have to shift entire gears to have that conversation. But it's a possible one if you're willing to have the conversation. We can have the conversation. I think what black women bring to the table is actual understanding, actual compatibility. They know what your struggle has been, right? And this is when you get off the internet. This is when you when you walk away and you're in real life and you meet women, black women, that understand you, that want to push into you, that want to actually help you elevate. They're the greatest muses we've had, right? They're the best ones that can encourage you. You don't have to go out and explain everything that's happened to you. They understand it with a look. They see it. They've internalized the same sort of struggle. That is what you want. As successful as you can be, right? And I consider myself successful. I can't buy femininity, right? I can't buy it, right? You got to prove it by, and listen, I understand. We would have to do a beautiful experiment, but we would need the funding. We need to go out there, but I guarantee you, there are actual black women out there that are for you. You got to walk away from what you're seeing here. You got to walk away from what you're seeing here, because the example here, and why we highlight these examples, why we push against this, is because so much of the rhetoric online becomes reality. It becomes reality. One of the things I constantly do, I prune my circle. If you're not serving it, if I'm not serving your circle, right, then I don't have any business being around you. And it's not to say I'm saying I go and block you and never talk to you again. We just kind of have to push each other away. Think about a concentric circles. If anyone watches Avatar, when Toph, starts to earthbend, how the vibration, the circle, the concentric circle, larger, that's how you just look at it. You have to push people kind of further away when they don't serve you, or you're not really serving them. Again, we never want to get into a position where we start talking that they all are bad, right? We're not trying to be Siths, although Siths are kind of cool, right? We not want to get into that position, especially because I can demonstrably just call upon anyone that I know that is close to me, that is female, that is black. They're excellent. They're absolutely excellent. And don't forget, my mom will be watching sometimes, right? It's definitely people's experience. And I'm not here trying to discount and dissuade your actual experience that you've had with black women. Not trying to say that, because what you happen to you, that's not real. No. I understand it. I see it. I try to understand it a lot more. A lot of men have been hurt by their experiences. I've been hurt by my experience with black women, but it was that particular black woman, right? I got to leave it at that. And when I can't, when I carry that forward to the next one, now I'm giving her sort of vitriol and spite that should be reserved for that person. Think about it like this, right? Think about it like this. I'm gonna get to your comments real soon. The way I look at spite, hate, anger, these are intimate emotions, right? You have to be important enough to have that come out of me. Otherwise, you have to look at it in the sense that people do not deserve parts of you. And one of the easiest things, the way people do this, is to antagonize you, to poke you, to use your vulnerabilities against you, because they want to get that reaction. That reaction to some people, for some women, is more important than anything we were talking about. The fact that I could get you off base, I could rock you. Now you're upset. That's the win. That's the game. You're trying to have a conversation, a high-tiered conversation about this. She's trying to emotionally unregulate you. But the only one that can do that unregulating is you. The only one that can allow that person to win is you. So that anger, that fear, all that, that's mine. You haven't earned the right to be shown that vulnerability. We can be happy, we can chill, blah, 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 blah. But that vulnerability right there, that thing that you're looking for to get me off base, you don't deserve that. That's precious. You haven't earned that. You don't get to come and say, you ever had someone in your life, right? And we'll keep it with the women. You're doing good. You're doing well, right? By good, I mean you're out there in the world doing good, right? And you're mentally, healthily, you're doing well. And they see that in the world when you can simply get online, take a peek into someone's life because we give them that access. They see it and say, damn, I wonder if I can still destabilize them. And that's probably not the words they're using. That's probably not the phrase, but they still want to know that pull that they once had, how important they used to be in your life, they'll reach out and contact you. They'll make that sort of move. And the way you make moves to them immediately tells them the story. And it never advances from there. There's never a fuller conversation. It's just like, hey, I was thinking about you. And then what do we do? Oh, what were you thinking about? Okay. Oh, it's so good to hear you. Up. Hey, and then we bite right in. We're giving right in and showing that we've never really moved from that position. You've advanced. You've done better in your life. But that access is still there. When you move properly off from someone else, there's indifference there. They hit you. Hey, I've had this happen in the past. Hey, I had a dream about you. I was thinking about you. Okay. We had a good dream, right? Moving on, right? If you want to be funny, was I getting money in the dream? No, that wasn't me, right? You could be facetious with it. It's just like, yeah, I don't really care. You hit me up after our relationship has been over just to say, oh, could you do? Yeah, I'll leave you in red because it's done, right? You don't get to have access. Those parts of access have to be precious to you. You can't just give it away. And that's what happens all the time. We just give it away. Hey, black women, let's see how they dress and weave. Yeah, listen, when you see that, right, we definitely have this bias. We have this bias when we think about our white counterparts or sometimes other races. We give them the benefit of the doubt. Right? Like she was saying with Meg, you put on these weaves, you put on these outfits, you did all this to be around the white part of his family or his family like that, where you wouldn't do that for these other people. You wouldn't change yourself. We see that every time we talk about divestors or we see people, want to do the swirl. And again, our point is always going to be do what you want to do. Right? Do what you want to do with whomever you want to do whatever makes you happy. I ain't going to stop you. I'm not going to hold you. Please live your life. But on your way out, do your thing, but quietly. If you want to improve parts of your life, so because you value these other races over us, then fine. But understand that when this happens, that door kind of closes. Don't come back. And also, again, this is what comes down to men. You can't really look for that sympathy, right? You can't really look for that sympathy later on and say, how come they're not defending? You left whatever sphere of protection even existed. You left it. You wanted to move over there and say, okay, on your way out, you're looking and saying, yo, you black men ain't shit. Black men ain't shit. All right. Again, you hear me say this on the channel all the time. If you guys are new here, right? We still talking. I'm always gonna say detach with love. Do what you gotta do. But you don't get the protections. And on your way out, right? Be kind about it. Don't shout out the door like, y'all ain't shit, y'all, because a white man's always gonna do. Stop it, right? Man to man, just the same thing with Meg. All men have been telling you, yo, a white man will do you dirty too, right? It's not, and we had a video a long time ago where we were saying, there was a white woman saying like, yo, a white dude left me as a single mom. And someone in the comment section was like, wait, they do that? Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It happens all the time. It's not something like, oh my God, no, it's real. It doesn't, if a man is going to do you dirty, it has nothing to do with the melanin content in his skin. It has nothing to do with the shape of his eyes, the color of his eyes, where he grew up. If he's going to do that, he's going to do that. But we somehow give grace to another race, especially when it comes down to white men. There was the thing going on. There was a Russian man in Ghana going around sleeping with women, right? And I'm not saying it was with the ultra hot, the young. No, he was someone you would look like your auntie, and he was simply doing it. He walk up to him in a mall, and he would talk blah blah blah. Hop, this is who I am. Hey, you want to leave with me, right? Like junior high level game. Hey, you want to leave with me? And she'd be like, yeah. By leaving me, she completely understood, just like we were talking about earlier about being in the industry, completely understood what he meant, right? Yeah, what's Teen Mom and half those girls are white. And thank you. Teen Mom was all about, hey, look at them, right? When you see all the depictions, also you see later on when you see people in college, especially white men in college, the Connor, the Chad, those the frat boys. And how awful that life. Whenever they do a little peek behind the scene, you see how awful they are. When you see some of this, when they talk about grape culture, talking about all these frats, but they have better control of their image, right? Hey, what's going on? They have better control of their image. So what happens? They get to say whatever. They get to be as awful as they want to be, and we don't turn around and look at them and say, hey, you're the worst of you guys. Think about when we all used to grow up watching Cops. You used to see this, and even when you saw the episodes and it's the white trailer park trash and what's happening with them, you never ascribe that to the largest society of white men or white people. You just, that was just them over there. But we see it with black people. You said, oh yeah, you all do that. One of it's because we're not in control of our image. We're not in control of our media spaces. So while we're depicted the way we're depicted, we have no say. So even when you have a majority that don't engage that behavior, that's not highlighted. As a black man that has done well, I've been in several situations. That's the best part of Cops. I've been in several situations. People say, "Yo, you're not like the rest of them, right? You're smart, you're well spoken for a black man." And I would tell them, "Yo, I don't know any other way." It's in part that's the way I was raised. That's who my parents were. How much they stretch education. How it was normal to talk to my father a certain way, and when I would talk to other people, it would just be like, "Are y'all slow? Are you slow?" I had one supervisor. Thank you. Yeah, you're so well spoken. People look at you like it's impossible. People don't understand, code of streets, code switching, and how that happens. But I had one supervisor years ago, and he was an academic, right? Black dude, Trinidadian dude. And he was calling everyone in under him because he was a new supervisor. Basically call him in there and try to intimidate them and try to make it sound like, hey, I'm educated and this is how things are going to go. He had a PhD in history. Okay. So he brought me in, called me in, and immediately he starts talking in this, educated sort of tone. I'm just, okay. So I talking to him right back. It's just like, it was almost akin to talking to my father, who I'm super comfortable talking to. No problem. right? You want to start using, $10 words when 5-cent ones do. That's okay. My vocabulary is verbose. That's fine. I read all the time. Most of my free time was spent reading. I enjoy it. I love it. I've written a book. I love words. People that know me in real life, like, nah, he loves words. I would stop conversations, be like, that's a good word. Right? Just something you may have said, yo, that's a good word. I like that. So now he's looking at me, and now he starts like reassessing. Like, wait a second. Oh yeah. What do you want to talk about? Double line studies, right? The IRC. What do you want to talk about? How these things are ethical, how we should be pushing an envelope there. He's like, oh man, you're too smart for this place. He made me backup supervisor immediately. Terrible 2 years that it was, but immediately he was just like, okay, this is the guy. He'd call me on my days off just to have this conversation. So it happens within our culture where we don't give each other enough grace and understanding that, a lot of us are smart. A lot of us get out. A lot of us understand the world just the same way you do. So yeah, but this is us not being in control of our image. So you just see me, big black guy, you immediately think, guys, just another big black guy. Probably played sports, probably couldn't cut it, whatever. I played one year semi-pro football, and my mom said, your brain is too precious. And I was like, all right, you got it. I'm not gonna argue with that. So yeah, athletic. I like to play chess. I used to like playing chess at lunch, right? It's just, yeah. But that isn't our image. Our image is of ones running and gunning with pants sagging. We don't sit here and protect the image. We don't go here and say, that's not us. We don't have a large enough political movement, a group that can apply pressure to a lot of these other spaces and say, yo, it's not it. That's not how we move. And if you don't, here's your excommunication. Here's how you get ostracized from the group. Whenever they need something for the black community, what do? Where do they go? Right? They go to Charlemagne, right? They go to their pieces, and they use that to, hey, look, we're cool, we're hip, we're understanding, we're here in the Breakfast Club, right? Pander to you. I know where to go immediately, how to pander to you, and that's good enough for me. And then, unfortunately, what we do, we don't, as a collective, say, Charlemagne, stop it. You don't talk for us. You're not asking the right questions. We know you have to be paid to talk about what you're supposed to talk about. We don't have those spaces where you're supposed to go and appeal to us where we actually appeal. Think about how our community isn't led by our business elite. It's led by celebrities. Celebrities who are probably more removed from your issues than anyone else in the world. I don't care what Hollywood has to say about social issues. You guys live in your own bubble. I don't care what an athlete has to say unless you're actually about the cause, actually giving back, actually aware. I'm not also going to say, yo, shut up and dribble. But sometimes you're asking the wrong people for critical, important takes because that's who you think represents us as our image. And whatever they do is a reflection on what the rest of us do, and it's not. It's just not. So until we're back in control of our image, then we can go back and say, yo, we don't move like that. Stop depicting us like that, like the Asians did when you were trying to use them as in Hollywood early on with the buck-tooth teeth, over-exaggerated. They all stopped taking those roles. And you had to do yellow face. That failed. And then you had to acquiesce. I got to give you serious roles. But we don't do that. Right? Again, not in charge of our image. So what do? They say, hey, you're a famous comedian. Wear this dress. Put on this dress. And then, you have famous actors who said, yeah, I've never put on a dress. I'll never put on a dress because it pigeonholes you and it puts you in this direction. That's taking more control. One of the reasons I think we respect Denzel so much is because of his image, of how there's roles he won't take, things he won't do because of what it would look like, how it would represent the rest of us. We all kind of need to move and shake with that. That's unfortunately the reality, of a lot of this. But back to the topic, right? Back to the topic and not one of those, longer rants. So Cam and Mace had a really good take when it came down, or really authentic take would be probably a better way of bridging that when it came down to the Meg and Clay situation. And again, you guys in the chat, you guys new here, subscribe to the channel, like the stream, the feedback in the chat. This is what it's all about. is really what it's all about. So yeah, Cam and Mix, as usual, there's a couple things to laugh about.
I've been saying this for years. Niggas, I see some shit we talking about Meg the Stallion yesterday. Niggas gonna say I'm hating. Everybody, they just don't want to hear it.
What they don't want to hear.
No, he's talking about Klay. You know, niggas be like, yo, Klay Thompson fumbled Meg the Stallion. And then we gotta sit here and fake be careful with our words so that niggas don't feel offended. You rap about being a hoe. Mad rappers fuck you. And then Klay Thompson fumbled. But we gotta be politically correct. The status say, no, I don't think so. She's doing her thing.
That is important.
Yo, she talks so.
Wait, what are you saying right there? The status is important, right? Who you were before this, your history matters. Men always are saying, yo, about body count, we're talking about what your history is. Yeah, some are beginning specifically saying that, but who you were before this is probably the clearest indication of who you're going to be while we're together, while our future. Excuse me, I said this a couple times ago, some time ago. Moral compass is gone. No, the ones who you use as a representation of the moral compass, but men are more concerned sometimes with how things play out. You want us to be right, you want us to be wrong, or if we disagree, then it's sort of like morally wrong. No, there's plenty of us that see the wrong in what happened to her. If what she's saying is true, yes, it's wrong that happened to her. The question here is, how does that relationship that happened, extraneous from you, mean you should now guide and change your life? That's not what we're trying to do. So I think we're doing defending cheating. They look stupid. Making sense it's a brand. That's cool, right? Well, that's the type of brand that people aren't really aspiring to. That's not the brand that people are trying to marry. It's a fine take for you to have. But even if what Klay did to her, what does that affect that the rest of us calling us out and saying, yeah, man, that sucks that happened to her. But how does that affect the rest of you? Why does that change your life? Why are we so overly invested in someone else's life? But when her brand, if you want to look at it, right? When you want to look at it, if that's her brand, look, what does it represent? Look at the music selection. Look at the behavior on and off the stage, twerking with the DNC with Kamala Harris, lying to Gayle King on national television. I'm not saying you can get murky. Was she shot? Wasn't she shot? I'm gonna leave that alone. But you know she flat out lied and admitted it herself. Right? The twerking, that type of behavior. If that's a brand, all we're saying as men is that in large, that does not get you the gold. Those men at that echelon don't take that, everything that's about, and say, I'm going to now incorporate this into my life. That's not what we do. That's just not what we do. It's good. It works at a certain level because certain level men are not thinking about that future. They're not thinking about how does this person on my arm or attached to me represent me as a whole. They're just saying, cool, that's what you want to do. That's what you want to do. That's all good. No? Yeah. For sure. But we realize that how many people relate to, yeah. You want to associate with that sort of behavior. Cool. Right? We're on record and saying that is fine. Absolutely fine. The consequence of that association is what? That when you can be a queen amongst this is your kingdom here. When you turn your eyes up to another level where they have different rules for that society, that's what we're saying. You don't really get to make that jump. When you attempt it, you understand that when you select, and we've said this on the channel a couple times, different videos, when you select for high value or you think money is the factor, when you make things transactional, or we look at it in that sort of sense, anytime a woman makes that leap, you went from priceless to cheap. Even if that price is high, it's cheap now because now it has a figure, it's measurable. And it doesn't matter that you are this brand or you making this amount of money. What we're talking about is just you went from this ephemeral muse-like status And you don't have to be rich to be this. You don't have to be rich to pour into people, to pour into your community around you in a positive sense. That makes you precious. That makes you invaluable. The minute you start transmuting yourself to this side, to the twerking, to the A's, to all this, and we're not saying you can't have fun, but now you steeped in that culture, you steeped in that life, and you're showing the rest of us, you're with this dude, but you're cheating on him with this person. You're cheating on this person with this person. This. You're lying out faces, but, okay. Now you're back down in reality in the price. Now we look at you and say, oh, this is where we see it. This is how it's moving, right? We're not saying that you being cheated on is fair. We're happy for it. We're just saying you have to understand why men aren't jumping out the window to down cry and say, Klay Thompson, you're evil. Klay Thompson, if all this is true, you're a bastard for it. That's not going to stop anything. That's not going to move my needle. That doesn't represent me as in bad. That doesn't mean I lost my moral compass. This is what we've been talking about, how you project so much of your life, what's happening with you, because of these people that don't know you, that will never know you, that will never know you existed, but we know so much about their lives. This is the danger we're talking about. There are these lies that men compete in. Which lies? I'm talking about, if you're talking about the Gayle King, she's on record saying that she lied. Like it's on video. You look at that. That's demonstrably true. Saying I didn't have a relationship with him, and she said, I lied to him. Lied to Gayle King. You could see it on her face during the whole interview. That's not something that people are making up. How would you advise those who may not have been aware before to hear your message and now know? Whatever you're trying to do, whenever you come across any type of knowledge, interpret, understanding, you make your decision from here and now. If you're trying to make better inroads and try to do something, it doesn't matter what you understood before. Here you are now. We always start with today. Everything that happened before that, cool. We deal with that. Way more of these men than slandering her. Who's slandering? Slandering would be lying, right? Would be liable, would be putting her down. Name one time here during this whole thing I put her down. This is not what this channel is about. We're trying to have a more nuanced understanding conversation about why we look at things through a moral framework versus a justice framework for men. This is how the understand why it seems sometimes like men are kind of callous behind it. It's not callousness. It's just like we're looking and saying things are playing out the way we expected them to. Sometimes when we have this fantasy idea that it's somehow supposed to work out, this fairy tale that you can do whatever you want. You can be steeped in whatever dregs of society, highest to the lowest. There will be a chance for you to be elevated from that. You deserve your happy ending. Us men understand that life doesn't really exist. Any type of ending you receive is one that you work for. Is one that you had to bust your ass for to actually accomplish. There's no fairness in that sense. The universe is often looked at for us as uncaring and just constantly expanding. It's just moving. What happens here and what happens to someone else could be a consequence of choices I made, how it rapidly expands and affects them. But ultimately, we look and say, whatever I have right now is what I earn. One of the first things in sayings here is like, life is the greatest algorithm. It's foresight, exactly. That's how when we look at some of your relationships, women are phenomenal at planning out that vacation. We're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. And boom. And if you go along with it, it could be the dopest experience of your life. But men are sitting there thinking, how do I now pay for this? The next one, our retirement. This is why we're so much better together. We're looking at different horizons. Not saying we're not looking and planning for the future. It's not saying that one does one exclusively. It's just saying this is how we look ahead. So if someone like Clay is looking at Megan and seeing the behavior, oh, this is the life you're about. We put you in that category because why would you think you would change? When is the last time you legit changed your mind on something? You got new information and you did a 180. You said, damn, I was wrong. I'm wrong about that. It rarely happens today because you can be inculcated and just completely continue to think the same things. We cherry pick the information we want to see, want to find, and we sit there and we say we're satisfied with this. I could see 5 different things that says, yo, Easy, you were wrong. You were wrong about all that. And the minute I see number 6 that says, no, you're correct, I'm good. Search is over. How many people do you know constantly go around let me ask you for your advice? But Blair, let me see what you think about this. My brother, what you think about this? You're not telling me what I want to hear. I'm going to go until I find someone that confirms exactly what I need. And I'm going to move forward thinking, ignoring all that other stuff I heard, all that other stuff I saw. That's one of facts and comments. His word is slander. Yes. Yeah, this is why we have trouble having real conversations, because we'll look and say, yo, this is what the data says. Right? The data says this. Right? Gerard's put me on today. She was like, listen, the data right now, the most current data is saying Black people are getting more and more married together. It's actually up from a low, from 25% to up to 30. We're getting more married. Just talking about Black women getting married. There's a curve, there's correction happening. But when you don't look at the data, what happens? You just believe. You constantly believe that this is what's happening. This is the truth. You get stuck here in this place. Even that, and we're ultimately still expected to be held responsible to adjust and restore order regardless of decisions people in the group made. Here's real talk. Here's how I think about this. Right? When it comes down to us being leaders, you cannot lead who doesn't want to be led. So what do? You don't try to keep chasing after them to get them in line. You just say, cool, we're going to create this thing over here. We don't need you to do it. We would love for you to be part of it. But understand there's a requirement before you. There's prereqs. Before you go and take that bio 301, you got to take the 101, the 201s, right? Before you elevate, you have to understand these concepts here. Part of this concept is, and this community we create in which we can actually start elevating, is accountability. Is understanding that sometimes we may feel differently from reality, but we're going to have to stick in here as close to reality as we can. We can accommodate your feelings as best we can, but it comes to a limit. There's what we all agree is facts, right? That's essentially what facts are. Calmly held opinions, right? Some of it backed by science, some of it backed by data. This changes as we get new information. So if our community is based on this, Clay cheated on Megan, that's what our community is based on. Then it turns out later on, oh crap, that's actually not true. We have to be able to abandon that idea that held our community together and supplant it with something else. This is when it's accountable. This is how you make things happen. You've got to let go of stuff that doesn't work, that has not worked. Why are we being loyal to ineffectiveness? If it's not happening, it's not working, let it go. That's how you start skipping ahead in terms of this generational wealth. You start, instead of getting stymied and say, I can't do it because this, when you start being able to pivot really quick, and my sister, she had a post like this early this year. She says it's almost a superpower now when you hear new information to turn and pivot. When you can easily tell someone, hey, you offended me, this bothered me. Hey, you know what? You're right, I'm sorry. It doesn't take a week. It doesn't take a month. It just says, hey, you know what? You're right. You're right about that. The men I have around me, my close guys, my friends, right? Blair, my brother, these people at the very top, they can critique anything I do. And they know there's no ego. It cuts right to it. Oh yeah, you're right. Oh, you saw that? Okay. Maybe it was misinterpreted. Maybe I didn't word it properly. Okay. That's an ability. That's a power that is cherished and never abused. That's what it takes to help you grow. People that can take and cut right across that ego. Someone I never knew has a comment on a channel, I don't give a shit. Right? I don't know you. You haven't been a participant. You haven't really helped out here. Cool. But someone that's been here day one that constantly sits there and says, hey, maybe you should try this. Maybe you should look at it like this. I'm going to listen. Right? My ego is put to the side. I can hear what that's actually being said. You know? Yeah. I'm saying these things are critical. This is how this shit works, right? Yeah. You know, you can't lead who doesn't want to be led. Exactly. What does it look like? I'm going to chase and run you down, right? I'm going to chase and run you down, trying to strangle you, say, yo, listen to me. Yeah, no, we know Clay, like, listen, what she's saying, we believe in it. We said that, let X equal Clay cheated. That's fine. That's not really poignant to the conversation we're having here. He cheated, moving on, right? That's awful. We said that, we've established that. But how does that affect our life? How does it affect our view of, you know, the black man, the black woman, the relationship? Let's stay steeped in reality, in the data, in what it actually says. Not what feels good, right? What sounds good. That's where we actually find this thing that works. And what's going on? He talked to her interviews on the internet, preyed on her. He could have left her alone. Very true. I don't know anything about their relationship in that sense, in the context how it was built. Everyone could have left someone alone. But, and now I'm never a fan of this sort of thinking, this form of argumentation. Hey, you just made it to the channel. Listen, subscribe to the channel, like the stream. If you like what you see, stay around. We like to have more nuanced conversations here. Here's what I used to do podcasts for years and been on YouTube panels, etc. Yeah, it was my charge and responsibility to change the lead people information. Yeah, you can't, man. yeah, you can't. And listen, I'm on record on some of these videos that I've made, and we churn out videos. We do 2 a day, 2 shorts a day. We try to do high volume, try to get a lot of stuff out there. I don't like the panels, right? It's hard to see who's talking, and then you'll make salient points, right? And I've got a video of this I'm going to load in next couple of days. The guy's making points. Yes, he's using some vocabulary, right? He's being a little stuff that I would never say, so my mom would see it and be like, yo, I raised you better than that. Cool. He says some points about, she's asking about why men aren't doing the stuff they used to be doing or the stuff they were kind of bred to do. He makes some good points, and then she just says, just be with men. That's a response. The quintessential, I'm just going to call you names, right? Like, what am I going to do with that? I'm going to be on a podcast, on a panel, and I'm going to sit there and chase after what you got to say for so long? Man, that's crazy. It's crazy. Either you're here to listen, you're here to learn, as I should, be at the same time. If you're sitting here, being upset that Meg, I can understand that. I'm acknowledging what you're saying. I'm not trying to detract and take away from that fact, what you're saying. I'm acknowledging that, but I'm saying, okay, how does that affect you? And if it does, should it? Right? Should it affect you so heavily? And if it does affect you heavily, why? How much of you do you have? If you invest so much in other people's relationships, other people's existence, how much do you have left over for yourself? This life is difficult, right? At the best of times, it's difficult. You need all of you to be you, to be a successful you. You need to return all that back to center as much as possible. One of my favorite movies of the MCU, right? For the MCU. I'm always trying to do the broader perspective here. We're always trying to have this talk. Finding panels that are more focused on information versus entertainment. It's a balancing act, right? Someone on made a post, a comment, and it sat with me because it's true. It said, we've been doing this for almost a year. We got 4,000 subscribers, almost at 1 million views, but it's slow, right? It's slow compared how someone could rocket in growth on YouTube. We get subscribers, onesie, twosies here and there. A good week, maybe we do 20, 30. The reality is, and he said this poignantly, if you call women out more, if you slander them more, you'd have a lot more views. You'd have a lot more subscribers. Then I got to look at all these people that I know and love. I got to look them in the face, right? I got to look them in the face. I had to say, I said that. But you got to understand, they don't want to hear that. When you have the platform, and this is, all right, when you say platform, this isn't really a platform. This is just, we got a little channel thing we're trying to grow. But when you have the availability, you should be more cognizant of who's going to listen to you. That's one of the tenets we talk about on the channel. What you put out there, people internalize. A lot of people don't have enough of themselves left, so they're taking pieces from everywhere else and inserting that and letting that now be who they are. They don't realize it. It's an unconscious thing, but slowly over time, your views kind of look exactly like the algorithm is showing you. The algorithm has, hey, people your age, your status, your amount of money you make, they're interested in these things. Are you too? And then your eyes linger. You like, you comment, you respond, you repost. Algorithm's like, I got you clocked. Here's more of it. Here's more of it. Here's more of it. Now your views are no longer yours. Your views are identical to that influencer. It's viewing this thing. So sometimes you don't know how you think about something. We think about it, we make it more innocuous, right? It's exact social programming. You haven't watched the movie, but you already got an opinion of it because someone else had an opinion of it. Someone else that you learn to trust their opinions because they mirrored yours. But you don't see what's happening behind the scenes. Is that person being sponsored, paid, said to do this? Why didn't they like that? We don't know. We don't view these things our own. Our brain is constantly looking for ways to cut down and stop and make our lives fully fluid, much more easier to digest. There's so much information that your brain is taking shortcuts again and again and again. Now you take social shortcuts. I stopped thinking about these things because it's easier. That person already thinks how I think about this. Let me go to that. When you want to see a tech review, you got people in mind, you go to see a tech review. When you want to see a movie review, you got a person for that. When you want to know what's going on with news or clips like this, you know who to go to. They've streamlined that thinking. The problem is it also has smoothed out the ridges of a lot of our brains. They make it smooth. I don't got to think. I do so much thinking, so much moving, so much shaking. On my daily life, I don't want to do these things. How many of you have been, drive? How many times have you been tired, overly tired, and you're driving your car and you don't know how you got home? There's so much of that got cut out, you don't realize how you got there. Your brain has said, I'm going to cut out a lot of this. You're safe. You never felt danger. You didn't slam into something. But a lot of that is already rote. It's already routine. It's already been done for you. This is when you don't realize, same thing I said on another stream, you don't realize whenever you're bored doing something else, you grab your phone. And your thumb is already boom, 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 boom. It's already moving and open up Instagram or whatever your flavor is. Whatever thing you do when you're bored, it's already there. We've given up the autonomy of this thought process. We don't remember who we gave it away to. We don't remember when we consented to it, but we all did. You all did. So now, you can't believe Clay did this. Why are you so upset? Well, because the people who think for you are upset. And now you're upset. But your life didn't demonstrably change. The zeros in your bank account didn't change, or the lack of zeros in your bank account didn't change. Your relationship with your parents didn't change. Your relationship with your significant other shouldn't have changed. But I told you it should, and it has now. And you're fine with that. You're like, cool, right? It's going on. I can admit that Kevin Samuels had me trapped a bit after reclaiming natural thought. That's exactly it. I'm telling you what to think. One of the things I loved what Kevin Samuels said: eat the meat, spit out the bones. Eat the meat, spit out the bones. That shit don't apply to you, let it go. Take what's true, what resonates with you, take it, go off, process it, come back and say, that kind of makes sense. That doesn't make sense. I don't need it. There's independent thought. We are, have this funnel. We've got all the information, allegedly, right? Allegedly. There's still some substance out there that we cannot actually, facts on TikTok. That's gotta be a big misnomer. But we have this opportunity to learn so much, right? And part of when I had the Spanish lesson earlier today, I was talking about, I like to do things at such a high level all the time. I want to be known for doing this. If I'm going to touch it, I want it to be great. And it leaves very little room for healthy growth, touching grass, going outside and be like, oh man, relax, right? There's so much pressure you end up putting on me because I look at life and there's so much you can do. There's so much cool-ish out there to do. I wish I could live 9 lives at the same time. I wanted to do this. I wanted to do this. I wanted to do this. Some people prefer the love of the game, but there's not enough time under the sun. You're only one person. I love the creativity process of it. But when I was younger, I was lazy. Right? I was ready for a life of being smooth brain. You just tell me what I'm supposed to do. But I realized early on, you don't get to live that life on your own terms. So now, instead of properly addressing it, I just lumped up and said, "Yo, man, you gotta work. You gotta work. You gotta go hustle. You gotta do blah blah blah. You gotta work this." Going to inspiration versus speaking YouTube. We can do both. We're going to expand, right? It's all about what people want to learn about, what people want to see, what people resonate with. One of the, like, when we do these live streams, you know, again, the live stream is going to be subscribers. So if you guys tell me the stuff that you're trying to see, you're trying to actually be a part of, right? I'll create that. The live streams on Sunday is going to be for the subscriber Sundays. So we're going to take those times to sit there, joke around, talk. If you're there, we can go over overtime. We can scrap the show and just keep talking, keep going back and forth. As long as we got actual happening in the chat, we can do that. We can, you know, over time, we're going to create like call-in shows. Call in, say what you want, right? We can go back and forth, kick it, right? As long as I can find a way to properly vet these people so what is being said doesn't actually end up striking the channel. And then we, and then we end up in trouble. We always want to be cognizant of that, right? Yeah, this is a full circle. Listen, man, I appreciate when you guys are in here and F with the content, right? Like when I have the ability to lean into that creativity, right? Because you can get into YouTube, you can get into this space and it becomes a chore. I treat it like a job. I got to put in the hours. And sometimes it's like, and again, there's people that I talk to in real life that talk me off the proverbial edge. And then when I get into it, I say, let me do something I like, right? When you can check out the American Greed episode that it created. I'm giggling the entire time I'm making it, right? Not actually giggling, but I'm putting it together like, oh, it's gonna be fire, right? Oh, it's gonna be fire. It took me like 5-6 hours to put that thing together. And I had no idea if it would be well received. I just said, you gotta do it for the love of the game, right? Right, you gotta do it straight for the love of the game. Yeah, Daniel Rose, I appreciate you subscribing. Yeah, yo, I love that shit, man. Love that. It's so, I feel like I missed out on the age of scamming, right? Some of these people, yeah, he just absconded with the money. FBI's like, no, we never found him. Excuse me? Some of the stuff is so brazen. Yo, he's robbing Peter to pay Paul. Hey, come invest with me. I got to pay this guy back right over here. I was like, yo, what are you thinking in your head? Is this shit actually going to work? Like, how long? You know this at some point, you're not bringing enough money to pay down the debts that you have, that people expect that this money that you invested in them is supposed to do it. Nah, man. But the brazenness. I think we as a society, we can understand we like some people that are just straight up brazen. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I learned a lot that a lot of these people that you steal from, no one makes them home. Pennies on a dollar, right? But and I was thinking about this in the shower the other day. Right? And if you don't do some of your best thinking in the shower, go back and shower longer. The part of the greed part that I think they're saying in the undertones, shout out to CNBC, it's not just that person that was greedy, it's the people that got scammed too. It's those people that also were greedy. Because it'll be some people like, nah, man, we were good. And we invested $1 million in that thing. We took out loans on the house. We took out home equity loans, HELOCs. We did all this. We maxed out credit cards because he said he could give us 12%. We did it. And he was sending a statement saying, yo, your money good. It's good. We never saw any of it. Okay, so he was greedy too, and so were you guys. That's the unsung sort of part about it. Yeah. Oh yeah, Jim was great for that. You get 500% return on your investment. He's like, yeah, yes, year after year. And then what happens, right? It'll be like, yo, 08 happened, housing crash. Oh, oh, you can't do it no more. And then some of these people, they have one scam and they immediately pivot to another. I'm like, y'all guys are brazen. Shift the money around. And listen, it's not just it's not just white people. They had the one with the bent lessons, over something like that. The black couple in Dallas. I was like, damn. And it was basically like a susu sort of scam. So you put in this and you can get like, I think it was something like you put in like 1,500 and he was supposed to get like 12,000 back. And then they started doing it online. You had to have subscribed to all these different this platform, and they used to charge you a certain amount of dollars per month. And then they said, yo, you can't talk about this online, but also bring people in. Yo, you were greedy too. Hey, again, I'm not victim blaming, I'm not victim shaming, but sometimes like, dog, right? You saw it. You saw what he's doing. But listen, like we said, back. We're gonna back to the topic, right? Yeah. You never cover the majority. Love of fraud in the auto industry. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Motor City's gone, right? And people are trying to say it's on the upswing. It's all right, man. Let's get into it. We're also going to create like a Money Mondays where we want to talk about a lot of this stuff. It's the same thing you see happen in New York right now, and this is the early throes of it. If you watching and pay attention, Donnie as he's eloquent. I like it. He's charismatic. I like that. You can't keep antagonizing. I get why you do. You're millionaire, billionaire class. You continue to antagonize them and think that, okay, well, we just have to pay a little bit more and it'll be so helpful for everyone else. But not everyone else shares that altruistic nature. The people that got out the mud, one of the last things they're thinking about is, I'm trying to just elevate everyone else around me. The same people are saying tax and eat the rich. So you're saying, no, we got to do this as if they can't leave. But they're going to leave? No, they're not going to do that. New York's the best. It is. Best thing on the planet. I'm going to die saying that. But billionaires can leave. Millionaires can leave. Right? It's not difficult. Yeah. It's not difficult to leave. It's not. When you have the resources, to get up and go, when you don't make money by your time, by your presence in places like that, then if you make your money while you sleep, these other things are in place to get you paid, then yeah, you're mobile. In fact, here's the unsung thing. These other states they're welcoming the millionaires, they're welcoming the billionaires. That's it. It's, hey, come to Florida, come to Texas, come to, Nevada. We don't have state tax. We're not in your business like that. We want you to thrive here. So you see, and it could be your opinion, it could be how you feel about this, right? Listen, we love it. We love, you've invested well as a Black woman. Absolutely. The women in my life, they do very well, very well. I talk to them all about, hey, what should I does this make sense? Love it, right? So when these other states are welcoming that class, that asset class, because that's what it is, right? And this is, you can say it's an opinion, but what it actually transforms into its reality when you see these hedge funds just left, right? That were, part and parcel of the New York City economy. They left, they went to Florida. JP Morgan Chase, in their headquarters, they have more people working in Texas than they have in New York. This isn't an underground, quiet thing. You're just beefing with one billionaire in particular. No, they don't have to be in New York to make money. This is what we're forgetting. As much as New York has an allure, it's not required to, in an increasingly global economy, it's not required to be headquartered there. When you see there's talk about the New York Stock Exchange or the stock exchange moving to Dallas, what moves with that, right? What actually ends up moving with that? Yeah, I'm with you. I don't know. Like I said, I see plenty of people making great investments. I have conversations about where people have moved money, what's working for them. I'm always trying to tweak what happens next. We just can't be good investors, business owners. That's a good question. I wish this would be probably a great, well, probably not a great panel, because I think sometimes when people come on these spaces, they come on very defensive. They come ready to defend a position that no one's ever attacking. And sometimes when you're steeped in that, that's all you can see. And sometimes it takes you just kind of being around people that are not moving like that, that are not viciously attacking you, to realize you can let down that guard a bit. It doesn't have to be immediate. It's bit by bit. It's over time. When you come to say, okay, while we critique things, we never bash, we never slander, we never try to make someone feel like they're not valuable as a person. All we try to do is hold people to say, your choices have a trade-off. You do this, there are consequences. And consequences aren't inherently bad. We could probably say there's results that happen from your choices. You make this decision, here's the result. Sometimes we love the result. Sometimes we're not proud of the result. And sometimes either one of those show up in how we present ourselves, even digitally, even just with words, right? You right? Like I said before, yeah, we know no harm, no disrespect. We're just asking, right? What we say before, you can't lead everyone. Right? All you can do is end up sometimes just being a shining example, like, yo, this is what we do. Right? To make a little more light of it, right? You just be Superman, right? Superman out there holding up something, saving the day. Not telling you, hey, be like me, live my credo. He's just saying, hey, man, maybe we should be a little more like that. Probably a better example be Captain America, right? To the rest of the Avengers. Not the comics ones, right? Not the MCU one, right? In the comics, the way Cap is, how everyone else kind of looks at him and says, that's the North Star. That's how you kind of should be. And sometimes when you run afoul of America, you take off the stars and stripes, you still do the right thing. Right? We don't chase down, we don't decry, we don't try to make people feel bad, we don't beat them down. We just say, hey, we're gonna keep going this way. If you don't like it, detach with love. I wish you the best. I'm not gonna slam the door on your way out. I'm just gonna say, if you ever decide to come back again, that's where we'll be. Plenty of people have had issue with the channel and they've left. And sometimes maybe you wish it bad, but when you go back and peek and we're growing steadily, okay, maybe we can have a better conversation about one day at a time. But back to New York. So when you start making these changes, right? When we start making these changes to the community, to the fabric of the city that is taking out the revenue, and then you see Governor Hochul essentially admitting it and saying, hey, can we get these people to come here to donate? These millionaires, better yet, bring your people back from Palm Beach. Come back because we have this deficit. When you piss off a billionaire, he's saying, bet, those 15,000 jobs I was about to create, or I'm going to take it elsewhere. This is not an idle threat. This is not something you can just play around and say, oh, it's not a problem. What ends up being left over is that deficit still exists. So who now becomes your asset class next down the line? You go from the ultra wealthy to the wealthy. Okay, those have the ability to leave. You get to the upper middle class and middle class. Those people now have to carry the burden. When he said there's about to be almost a 10% property tax hike across the state because we have across the city, because we have this divide, this gap there, this shortfall. And if, Albany won't send us the money, it's got to come from somewhere. That's when you thought, okay, I'm in New York, I'm doing better, I'm not doing great. I'm not doing phenomenal, but I'm upper middle class. Well, now you got to pay a little bit more. And sometimes it seems like, okay, great. I feel like this is worth it. These programs, the tax is never singular. Think about how many times you go from when we went from COVID and the prices started increasing, shrinkflation, you get less in your products for the same amount of money. You pay more for gas. Even when we've stabilized the gas issue, I'm not saying right now, but remember, I'm 40 plus right now. I remember when gas was $1, right? What happened? Why is it triple the price now? Have we never stabilized and said, oh, we can go back. Things are better now. We've got things to where they're stable again. We can just go back and reduce that price. No, once a company gets used to a certain amount of profit, they budget it. I have more people, I have more industry, I have more tech, I have more things that require you to pay more money, and I've got to make more profit for the shareholders. So that keeps going up. It keeps going up. Same thing with groceries. They keep going up. You get accustomed to paying it, but you're not really accustomed to it. You're sacrificing other parts of your life that you no longer do to do that, or you're going into debt. Spiraling. New York City is operating in the same sort of sense. You have your budget, you have things that you're trying to do. Now, where do you prioritize? Often it seems more like we prioritize a lot of the social things that we want to do because those are popular, we can guarantee the vote. Rather than saying, well, we might end up paying the price of some of this. You saw this across the United States when we went from being a tough on crime to a little more lax. Now you end up with people who have been in and out of jail 50, 60 times because, hey, we don't lock people up for this. You come in, process you, see a judge, you're on your way out. but I just robbed the CVS, right? I walked off with the bag. Yeah, you'd be out again to do it again. Okay. This is just an evolution of these things. The problem is with New York and that being that monetary center, you lose too much of that, some other place takes it up and then makes you very comfortable where you are, because they understand right now, I can get you down here, and you're not just going to move your entire base, right? You're a head fund manager. You're not going to move down to Florida and say, I'll just be here for a year. I'm just try it out. You sign leases, 10, 15-year leases in places. You set up shop there. People can come there and finish out their careers, or at least start up a career in that field and know we're going to be here for a good 15 years. You have the opposite happening with people who got jobs in New York at some of these funds and saying, oh, I should be guaranteed. And then they up and move their headquarters and say, hey, we're going over here. You can uproot your family and try to follow us if we make that position available. Or during this process of taking you from here to here, we're restructuring, saying we don't really need you. So the inception of a lot of this is, and sometimes we don't like to look back and say, sometimes, it's having this real quick conversation. It's just saying, hey man, tax the rich. New York, I'm gonna vote this person in. Okay. We don't think ahead. New York can't afford to lose something like the stock exchange and still be New York. Think about what time we all set our clocks to when we're monitoring the stock market. Set to New York, Eastern. Eastern is New York time, as far as I'm concerned. As far as the rest of the world's concerned. That's how we move with that beat. Okay, that changes. Now it's the central time. That's the standard. What else leaves when the stock exchange leaves? Businesses around there. When we talk about we wanted you guys stop being working remote, the reason we wanted you down in the cities was very simple. You spend money. You go to the shops, you go to happy hour. You're driving into the city, you're driving into work, you see a new restaurant. Oh, I should try that. You spend your money there. The little vendors or the shops, the little hot dog stands, whatever. You spend money in the city. The city ends up thriving that way. But now you guys are being frugal, staying at home. Maybe you order food, maybe you're cooking. You're happier, you're not spending, you're saving money. Yeah, I got a 15-year lease on this place. I got 10 more years on this place. I have all the incentive to keep you working here. Everything's already paid for. It's already budgeted. But now you get pressure from everyone else around you saying, yo, we're suffering. Why is that happening? Because no one's here at work. You got to come in, right? Leave Florida within the next 3 or 4 years. Yeah, I mean, especially, do you have if you have a condo in Florida that, when they changed the zoning with the insurance, left a lot of people on the water, unable for the special assessment tax, left them in their place. And you have to sit there and somehow figure out how am I supposed to pay this in order to now offload this to someone else before I get on my way out of here. It's rough. And again, I want to have, we want to create that Money Mondays where we can go and talk about various issues. But a lot of it is going to come down to, what are you guys interested in? What do you guys want to see? If you guys, are messing with the content, you come on down. Let's have these conversations, right? Just like we're doing right now in the chat. These things make all the difference for the algorithm. We chat more, we hear more, we like, subscribe. The algorithm's like, oh shit, your actual channel. And I think we have a place here, in one in which we don't decry, we don't put people down. We try to be reasonable. Right? My mom might watch it, and you never know. She tunes in when she wants to tune in. But for that sake, I think we all have a lot to contribute. I think we all have a lot we want to say, or we want to be heard on certain topics. We want to do it in a place where no one has to feel like you gotta run and put your back to a corner and defend yourself at all times. Yes, we're going to be expanding the channel. We want to create more things. Maybe, like you said, motivational, right? I don't mind doing that. I like having these conversations. These are a reflection of conversations I'll have just in real life with one of my friends. We'll talk, we'll joke, we'll laugh, but at the heart of it is trying to make sure you've got a sort of better experience. I think that makes all the world. Listen, man, I really appreciate that super chat. The next live we're going to do tomorrow, 7 p.m. Central. It's going to be a show, lights, cameras, right? I sometimes over-engineer the damn thing, but it becomes fun, and we're going to laugh. We're going to laugh at some things that we seem as silly, that we know is not a reflection of a whole, but we're always going to end up talking about a serious topic. It might be, we're going to be talking about Dr. Cheyenne Bryant and how we have this proclivity to listen to, again, what we like to hear. Right? We got other videos coming. Again, if you're new, check out that American Greed video. That was fun. I enjoyed the hell out of that one. And some people F with it. So that's all we want to see. If you like the stuff, support the channel, subscribe to it, right? Like, be in the comment section. All this stuff is great. All this stuff is gold. These are the best ways. And super chats. And if you want to donate, you can see the stuff right down there. All this is it's one big love letter to the subscribers. That's what tomorrow's going to be about. In that vein, I've got to go and prepare more videos and the show for tomorrow. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys there, new faces, all that. And just, hit me up in the chat. Let me know what you think about some things. I do not mind derailing the show to have this conversation. I like this. This is what makes it worthwhile. So for that, I'll see you guys in the next one.